Hey YouTube, it's your boy Mizuki back with another video, and in today's video I'm doing a long-awaited update. Yes guys, ever since I uploaded my first accessories tier list, a lot of y'all have been wanting a new one. Since Peroxide's been dropping new accessories like crazy, like I think you got around 5 new outfits, like literally in the past couple of weeks, which is crazy. But anyways, this video is just for that. Y'all already know though, your boy's been going around picking up the info from these outfits and giving them the best rank possible, which I'll be sharing with y'all today. Note that before ranking them, I've discussed this with the OG members, the mods, did my research into Trello, and watched other videos to solidify my point of view. To add on, y'all already know that your boy made time segments for this video. And to make it even more convenient for y'all, I'm going to put my first ranking video in the beginning so all y'all new viewers, or ones who just want to refresh your memory, you don't have to click off and try to find the video. And as for the 5 new accessories, I'll be listing them at the end. Now anyways, without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Now before we begin listing these accessories, for those of y'all that don't know the way to obtain the godly accessories, what we basically gotta do is by doing one of the following 3 game modes, which are either Invasion, Incursion, or Time Gate. Now whenever I play, I typically go for Time Gate, since in my opinion, it's a bit more simple, it's a bit more fun than the other 3. But anyways, once you do the Time Gate though and win it, there's a 0.6 chance 0.6% chance of you receiving a time remnant. Now if you do end up receiving this time remnant, you have a choice between 3 of the following things. You can either choose to get an impure Hogyoku, you can choose to have 20 product essences, and or a godly accessory. Now some of y'all may think this is crazy, but I'm telling y'all it really isn't. I got my time remnant after my 3rd time gate dub, and it shouldn't take you forever, so don't get discouraged. Besides, with Peroxide as it currently is, you can really only have fun by doing time gates, at least until they launch update 1, which I'm kind of curious about. Might be my next video, by the way. But anyways, now with that in mind, let's get back into the ranking. Now before us, we got 9 godly accessories. Keep in mind there are only 9 currently in the game, which is hella a lot compared to games like Type Soul and Reaper 2. Clearly Peroxide takes their accessories section with priority. Because, no, I'm not even gonna lie, Peroxide, I didn't count myself, but I would assume they have at least 70 or 80 accessories. It's a lot. But aside from that, the first one on this list we got is Lucifer's Cloak. The description of this cloak reads, a cloak worn by somebody who thought he was the strongest. Now obviously, like the rest of the godly accessories on this list, this cloak can be obtained as a godly drop from Invasions game modes, Time Gate game modes, and their Incursion raids. But the best part of this cloaks are its boosts. The boosts and perks are that this item gives the player 4 vitality, 15 agility, 20% better health regen, 25% Ryatsu, and 25% better Ryatsu regen. It also gives the player a trait which gives the user bonus flash step and a 15% EXP multiplier. Definitely the cloak you'd want to rock as a spirit build due to the wild boost it would give you. What I find pretty funny is how a single accessory gives more benefits than probably 95% of the clans in Peroxide. But anyways, yeah, S tier. Now the second accessory you got on this list is called the Blood Cloak. The description reads, a horrible cursed cloak, those who wear it become obsessed with murder. Interesting description. This could obviously be obtained from either Invasion game modes, Time Gate game modes, Incursion raids. So this item gives the player 30 spirit and 35 strength, but there's a catch. It also takes away 20 vitality from the player. Now this cloak in my opinion is a lot worse than Lucifer's, because one, yeah, the traits might be doubled, but compared to Lucifer's that has 5 boosts and 2 bonus perks, this one only got 2 boosts, and even goes as far as to decrease our vitality by 20. Say what you want, but this deserves a B tier amongst the remaining godly accessories. Remember that's still good compared to most accessories, but when we compare it to the godly ones, it kinda lacks. With that in mind, accessory number 3 on this list is yet another cloak. This cloak though is called the Ancient Cloak. Its description reads, an incredibly rare and sought after cloak. Like all the other godly accessories, this cloak can be obtained through Invasion game modes, Time Gate game modes, and Incursion raids. The perks of this item compared to the Blood Cloak actually gives a player 25 vitality, as well as 11 spirit, 11 strength, and 20% more PvE damage. Which in my opinion is a dub, because if you're fighting your inner spirit and or any other NPCs, this could low-key come in clutch. As for the stat boosts, they seem a lot more hybrid, like more balanced compared to Lucifer's Cloak, which stands closer to a spirit build. All in all, I'd rank this one a high A. Now moving into the 4th accessory, we got ourselves the White Ancient Cloak. basically a white version of the previous accessory. Its description again reads an incredibly rare and sought after cloak. And the boosts are low-key identical to the ones of the original Ancient Cloak. I guess it all comes down to your preferred style, whether you like it white or dark purple. This item gives the player 25 vitality, 11 spirit, 11 strength, and 20% more PvE damage. A tier, just like the previous one. Moving on to the fifth one, another fifth godly accessory, we got a red Ancient Cloak. This cloak is the identical version of the previous two cloaks, and the greatest part is all three do identical damage. The only difference is obviously the color. Clearly the Ancient Cloak has like a family tree amongst the godly accessories, I guess. What I appreciate about these cloaks though is how jaded they are. Like, they look exactly like Ichigo's Bankai state. The ripped sleeves and all that really give this cloak a clean look. So yeah, this item gives the player 25 vitality, 11 spirit, 11 strength, and 20% more PvE damage. Nothing new. High A. Moving on to the sixth one, you could probably guess. The inverse Ancient Cloak. Yeah, well, let's just skip that. But moving on, we finally got ourselves a non-cloak accessory. The Time Abnormality Bandages. These can again be obtained as a godly drop from invasion game modes, time gate game modes, and incursion raids. This item gives the player 40 strength in exchange for taking away 25 vitality. Now in my opinion, this accessory is even worse than the Blood Cloak, which gave us 35 strength, 30 agility, and only 20 vitality. The price was lower for a better deal, but here it only gives us 5 more strength than the Blood Cloak, only 1 boost, and for a deduction of 25 vitality. 5 more than the Blood Cloak. Sounds like a pretty big ripoff. I'm not gonna lie, with all due respect, this accessory is gonna take the L and go down to the C tier. Now moving on to some cape action, our second to last accessory is the Kaminas Cloak. I think that's how you pronounce it. Basically, this godly accessory, unlike the many other godly ones, can only be obtained through ranked matches. A very tough drop to get, but upon attaining it, you get nothing. Yes, nothing. Believe it or not, you get nothing. And the description reads, "Believe in you that believes in me." That doesn't even make sense. Let me reread that. Believe in the you that believes in me. Whatever. Honestly, I honestly believe that the abnormality bandages we're gonna take the L on this list, and which they are, is just we're gonna have to throw down a companion for them and rank this cape in C tier. Now I know y'all are probably like confused on why I did that, but hear me out. Godly accessories should all have some perk, right? I mean, compared to the accessories on this list, this one's just dead weight, right? And it could potentially get in the way. But aside from that, of course, C tier. Last but not least, our ninth accessory is none other than Goku's outfit. Yeah, you heard me, Goku's outfit. Its description reads, a uniform once worn by fighters from another dimension. This cloak can only be obtained, or this uniform, as I should say, can only be obtained during Goku Day, September 5th, 2023. It's a very rare drop from Hollows. So yeah, guys, unfortunately, not obtainable anymore for now. It might come back in the future. But this item gives the player 10 vitality, 40% better health regen, 20 Ryotsu, 10 spirit, 5 strength, 40% better Ryotsu regen when equipped. All in all, this is a very well-rounded and beautiful looking accessory. It definitely offers a lot more than even the ancient capes by giving us up to 40% better health regen and better Ryotsu regen, as well as giving us boosts on almost every stat in the game. This is well beyond deserving of S tier. Beautiful. Now right off the bat, for the new accessory, we got ourselves the Fallen Wings. Now what I like about these wings, aside from the OP stats they grant, is the fact they're animated, which makes them all the more OP. Typically, things like wings are just animationless meshes, for example in Blox Fruits, but here Peroxide really did take their time. Anyways, the stats are, this item gives the player 15 vitality, 15 spirit, 30% better Ryotsu regen, and 20% better health regen. 4 stat boosts that are pretty high. Pretty good. These stats are very good considering the stats given to us from items such as Kenpachi's Cloak and the Royal Hollow Cape. It may be since they're Ulquiorra's wings, giving them some sort of plot boost, but regardless, so much perks and no takeaways will land these wings in the S tier. Now moving on, we got the cloak that people have been tearing me apart ever since I posted my first video, since this cloak was posted right as I was publishing my video, but it's the Kenny's cloak. Kenny's cloak is nice in that it grants the opponent 20 strength, but the fact that it has a deduction of 10 vitality is kind of stupid. Or actually I believe it's 30 strength now, because because then we got accessories like the Fallen Wings, which give all that and more, but don't have a deduction, but don't deduce anything, which makes you think, does this accessory even deserve A tier? I normally give accessories with such major deductions C tier, but the 30 strength can be helpful, and in my opinion, hybrid stats are worse than strength stat boosters, making them better than time abnormality bandages. Dude, I can't pronounce things today. Anyways, placing this at the B tier. Yeah, not high B tier, but it is at the B tier. Now moving on to the Royal Hollow Cape. Now this one's a real goodie. The stats are underrated and a lot better than Kenpachi's, as it offers 5 strength, 5 spirit, 30 vitality, 15 agility, and a 20% better health regen. It also gives the user a trait which gives him a bonus flash step when chaining. Now, all y'all witnessed the Kenpachi's cape and time abnormality bandages. It only took away something, but also gave very little perks. When you compare it to the other A and S tier accessories, there's one thing that the Royal Hollow Cape bests them on, and that's the fact that it grants the user a bonus flash step once chaining. Making this cape a lot more unique due to this unusual addition, ranking it in the high S. Moving on to Hell's Grasp. The Hell's Grasp is basically just a worse version of the Royal Hollow Cape. Now the reason I say that is because this item gives the player 12 strength, 12 spirit, and a trait which gives the user a bonus flash step. However, in exchange for that, it takes away 8 vitality. So it's basically the same thing, just not only gives you lower stats and smaller perks, but also deduces 8 vitality, which is a problem to consider. Even though it has a decent perks and a nice flash step, I'll probably have to put it at a high A tier. Now next up, we got ourselves a very simple accessory, Captain Jin Saga's hat. I think that's how you pronounce it. The description reads, let's just quickly read it. A hat once worn by a previous head captain. Pretty cool. Now the reason why I find this hat not very special or unusual or like cool is for its very simplistic stats. It doesn't add that much, but it doesn't take away anything. It also doesn't have any special side perks. It simply gives the player 10 vitality and 10 spirit. I appreciate the simplicity of this item, but amongst the godly accessories, I'd have to rank it in the A tier, a tad bit below Hell's Grasp. Now next up, a weird one, Purgatory Flames Cape. The description reads, set your heart ablaze, Rengoku. An interesting reference, you already know from where. Now the reason why I say this cape is weird is because it's one, to obtain it, you have to reach tier 50 in Battle Tower, guys, which is already a new method in obtaining a legendary accessory, because most of them are just like from other methods, obviously. But also this cape doesn't give the user anything. It's simply just an accessory, kind of like the Communist Cloak. Both are very useless, but I have to rank this cape higher than the Communist Cloak since it's a lot easier to attain, putting it at the C tier, just a little bit above the Communist Cloak. Now last but not least, we got ourselves a part of the collection, the Time Abnormality Headpiece. The description reads, an abnormality in time, it forces itself onto your head. Interesting. Now what I like about this piece is the fact that it takes away a lot less than the Time Abnormality bandages and the Kenpachi Cloak. It only takes 5 vitality for 30, as it reads here. This item gives the player 15 strength, 15 spirit, and takes away 5 vitality, making it clearly superior to Kenpachi's and Time Abnormality bandages, which will have me place this at a high B tier actually. Since we all know Kenpachi's Cloak and Time Abnormality bandages, they take away like 10 vitality, I believe, and they give I'm pretty sure the same amount, like 30 spirit or something, but again they take away more, so high B tier. But now aside from that, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. I simply wanted to update this list since it's been in the back of my mind and kind of bugging me ever since I released my first accessories tier list, and now that this little burden of mine is finally off my back, it really does help. Again, most of this is just my opinion and the opinion of hundreds of other players, but I still feel like majority of these fit in for the most part. Maybe not so much for the first segment, but But my opinion doesn't change for that either. Although the stats may have, but they're still relatively the same from when I last checked. But anyways, on that note, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Like, sub, all the proper things, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.